In this week's episode, we talk about ethics in video games, sexual harassment, and we do a giveaway code for the Stick of Truth on PS4. Stay tuned.
This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined as always by Patrick, the man who at the very beginning of his name has a word, and then if you reuse the T, there's a second word at the end. He has a compound word for a name.
I do.
Pat Trick.
Yeah. Or Pat Rick. Either way.
Right, but Rick is a proper name.
Names.
So you can't use it in Scrabble, therefore it doesn't count.
That's true.
Anyway, this is This Week in Our Collective Heads, episode 109, and we're talking about the gaming news of the week and filling you in on everything that happened this week and what it means.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with the biggest news of the week, which is EA shutting down Visceral.
Yeah. And
the game that Amy Hennig's been working on. And if you've been following us, you know how excited we were about this game. It's Amy Hennig from the Uncharted series, and it's Visceral, who did Dead Space, and like there were so many reasons to be excited about this, and the way that they phrased the reason that we're changing this game up was so it made me furious. If they had said, you know, we looked at it and honestly it just wasn't turning out the way they'd hoped.
Yeah.
What they said was, and I think I'm getting this quote right, they said that it was turning out to be a third-person single-player adventure game.
Yeah. Which is what we thought we were.
We said this is what we want.
Yes.
You hired Amy Hennig, who is a specialist in third-person adventure single-player games.
Yes.
What did you think was happening for? I mean, we're right at 4 years.
We are
that
at 4
this has been
years.
working
Yeah,
on.
13 was canceled. Then this
And
now is canceled.
Right, and they got the assets from that, and it's just give us the single player game. That's what we want.
We do want that.
And I don't know how the sales figures are running out. I hope that the campaign for Battlefront 2 is enough that I'm willing to be on board for it. Because if they're just giving us a Call of Duty campaign, then I will red box it. I will beat it in a really fun evening, and then I will return it, because that's not what I'm willing to pay $60 for.
I have a feeling that's what it's going to be.
But you give me a full and also to that, the people who've had previews, we didn't have our preview yet, so I don't think we're going to get one. But they've done the first 3 missions.
Yeah.
Nobody's played it all the way through. And they've said that it's really high quality.
But no one's played it all the way through.
Nobody's, or at least they're not allowed to talk anything about about it, but the first 3 missions, and they can't talk about the scope of the game, which leads a lot of us to believe
that
you might have just played like half or a third of it, and
a robust single player game is fine. It's a lot of people want that. Case in point, South Park here. I mean, it's a great long RPG, and you can tell a long form story with this, and people will buy it. You don't have to have microtransactions in it or anything. And speaking of that, inside we got a little slip that allows us to download Stick of Truth. But I already have it. You have it as well, don't you?
I had it.
I had it. Yeah.
I honestly don't like that's definitely a game that I'd have to play with the girls not in there, and I don't see a gap where I could
you have
I could
so many
play
games to play.
Right, because right now I'm doing Shadow of War, which has so many more decapitations and limb removal than I'm prepared for the girls to see, and then after I get finished with that, I have Neo to finish, and then after that I have The Witcher 3 still to get to, which is like... So this is not happening anytime soon. I'll probably pick it up, but for right now, we would like to be able to give the code out to one of our viewers. So how are we giving that away?
I think we're going to give that away. So at the end of this week, you have to comment and like this video on YouTube.
And be a subscriber.
And share the video.
And share?
Yes.
Okay.
So you got to just share the video. Anybody who is commenting, basically I'll see if we can snowball this. If you can share this video, get it to someone else who can share the video. Everyone who is liking is eligible for this. So right. I mean, it's one that you can't buy on the PS4 through the store.
Exactly.
So you're getting something
only
you can't
available.
purchase.
It's only available through the pre-order thing,
which is a great RPG. So all you have to do, like, comment, and share the video.
Yeah, and we will announce the winner on next week's episode, episode 110.
That's right. That's right. So, speaking of things that have nothing to do with 110, because that number doesn't ring a bell to me, new Ninja Turtles arcade game is being worked on, which is it's a 4-player arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about arcades on the show recently, talking about the new wave of arcade games that are coming out, because arcades are making a sort of comeback for people around our age.
It's stylistically changing, and I can appreciate that, and like, because arcades are crazy expensive to make and maintain.
Yeah.
But yeah, like honestly, one of my favorite pictures of this year is my girl sitting in front of a sit down Street Fighter: The New Challengers.
Yeah.
That was just a lot of fun, and it was really great to see, something moving on to the next generation and continuing so that more people can experience this thing that's a part of history.
Yeah, exactly. It's in my opinion, a very big part of gaming history, and every single new arcade that I've been to, I've found so many people in having fun and interacting with other people in a really cool, open way.
Yeah, there's a type of community that comes with that, and that's one of the things that we really don't want to see go away with arcades is the community.
I agree. But one thing that I do want to see go away is harassment.
Yeah,
and it's been happening. I mean, it's happening obviously forever. I think that the Harvey Weinstein incident basically started bringing spotlights onto a bunch of individuals, some of which that people within Hollywood, including James Gunn, was talking about. There was a gentleman he was talking about who was a director that apparently James Gunn's been within Hollywood trying to get people, trying to warn people about him, trying to figure out a way to. Didn't have any definitive proof, so he couldn't say that he could do anything, but he heard enough stories of people that wouldn't come out. So there are people who are who are now feeling that they could be protected enough to do that, including NeoGAF, essentially NeoGAF,
the admins and site moderators.
So it was shut down due to sexual harassment that happened within that, and I mean it's horrible, but I'm really glad that we're getting more. And more people feel safe if they come out to talk about something.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because the people who need to be protected in these situations are the victims. There's an idea of don't rock the boat, or it could be just you, or a perception thing, and we're moving as a society. And yes, this will be glacial, but these are the conversations, these are the difficult times, these are the difficult situations that have to happen for us as a species to move forward, because like you said, this has been something that has been in most cultures forever. And so now, in the age of the internet, when everyone has a voice and we can unite around people who are being put in situations that are unacceptable to them, we're looking to support those people and help move it forward so that no one else has to be put in danger by these kind of people.
I think that one thing that does need to be noted in this is, from looking at recent history, is making sure that we listen to the victims, that we understand what's going on, and that we make sure, honestly, that we have evidence, we have understanding of what actually happened.
Yeah, and there needs to be a procedure.
Because right now there is no procedure. There have been multiple people in the spotlight this year and in the past, say, 7 or 8 years, where someone claims that something happened specifically to get back at an individual. Not even may or may not even be for gain. The biggest one that I can think of, there are a lot of examples of it, but even if you heard about the Duke lacrosse team, they were, so basically 4 or 5 members of them were accused of assaulting an individual, if you will, at a party. So they were kicked out of school. They lost their jobs. So 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 months later, it was a ridiculous amount of time, because trial hadn't even started, but they were investigating everything. Trial hadn't even started. These guys lost their scholarships, lost it being vilified. It turns out there was no party. Not a single one of them were in the town on that day. And the alleged victim fessed up to saying, well, I actually was angry about this person and this person, so I made up the story to get back at them. And it's happening a lot where and my problem, I'm not saying don't believe the victim, but what I'm saying is we're having a problem. There's a problem where there are no checks and balances up to that point. So most of those people, they've tried to get scholarships again, tried to go back to college. They've been rejected from jobs because of an event that didn't happen, and the people that. And then the people and you can say like, oh well, don't be in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're literally not in the same state.
Yeah, and that's
not in the same state.
And that's not how that works.
Yeah,
but there are going to be. This is a very complicated issue.
It is a complicated issue.
But this situation with NeoGAF is like
there's evidence. There's screenshots.
Well, one of the phrases that we kept hearing about in the Weinstein case was an open secret. And so this is something that is generally known within that group, and they united and they decided no, this is it.
Well,
and
you
so
can
we'll
tell
see.
people about it, but if you don't have any evidence, it's slander. And if the victim doesn't come forward, then you can't do any charges. But if you say something having no evidence, then you can be sued. Well, which is why it was an open secret. Like James Gunn was talking about, trying to get at this other director who's doing something similar, and he had no evidence. But he heard stories from people who would not go forward. So if he decided to publicly go forward, without that,
he would not be able to sustain it.
Yeah. So it's complicated. Anyway. It's complicated, but I'm glad that more people are feeling empowered to be able to step up and say, "Hey, this happened to me," because you should. You should always be able to step up and feel protected when you're accusing someone of doing something wrong to you. Yeah. Some very important. Yeah. So, anyways,
moving on from inappropriate situations to inappropriate content for minors. So there's
with consent.
Very much with consent. Okay, so the creator of Nier, Yoko Taro, I believe. Yeah. They were talking with him about Nier and about the perception, because there are people who love that game. There are people who say that's an awful game. And those seem to be the two camps. Like there's not a whole lot of it's okay. Yeah. Like people seem to go to one extreme or the other. And they were talking with him about what he'd like to do next, and he just made this random comment. And he said, I think I'd like to make an adult movie. Yeah. I think that would be fun. And then shortly after that I found out that Rule 34, obviously. So that There is already adult content. We're not going to link it. No. But there is adult content based on Nier, and the fact that he wants to make an adult video and that there's Nier porn already just cracked me up to no end. So if that's something that you think would make you laugh, then that is available for your perusal. This is not a recommendation. Yeah. This is knowledge that you now have.
Exactly. And speaking of knowledge, I knew about Yoko Taro before. So when Nier had just launched, there was an alleged glitch that doesn't exist, where you could angle a certain way for a panty shot.
Yeah, for the butt shots.
Okay, for the butt shots. So when that happened, he tweeted out and was like, "Bring them on. Send me all of your pictures of the butt shots. Like, I want to see all of them." So this isn't like something that's surprising to me, because it's he's just like, that's great. I like that. So So,
and it's also a director who's involved and enjoying the community. And this is the guy with the giant moon head for that one conference. And so I choose to believe, based on zero evidence except that I saw him with a giant moon head one time, that he would direct the adult video wearing that.
I would.
Yeah,
or like obviously. A Groucho Marx disguise. It'd just be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It'd be really fun.
All right, so moving on from that, we have a bunch of Switch news this week. Some of it's we have sales, we have an update, and we have an unlikely developer alliance. So we'll start with the sales.
Sure.
So the sales of the top 10. Like there's a bestseller, because you went on the store. And checked this out.
You can go on the store. There's like you can basically sort by recently added. You can say you can sort by newest. The recently added, and then you can sort by the best sellers. So it's basically their way to showcase different things. Not only do they have a showcase thing, but to say, hey, what's selling really well right now? They don't have a way, because it's Nintendo. They don't show you, this is an aggregate of the past 2 days or what anything.
It's just bestseller in some way.
which I feel like they're being pretty transparent with what's selling, because the top 10 is dominated by third-party games.
Yeah,
and some really good ones here.
You don't actually hit a Nintendo game until like number 8 or something.
Yeah, I think like 7 or so. Yeah, but
so like it's got like Stardew Valley and Axiom Verge and like Sonic Mania.
And they're great games.
Yeah, some really fun games and some great ones to take on the go, and it's cool.
I'm
everybody
happy.
who bought Zelda bought it day one, so they figure those are done.
I think Zelda's like number 7 or 8. So I mean, Zelda's still selling. I think
because new people are getting
consoles because they're available. So I think that it's really refreshing to see Nintendo, third party, flocking to Nintendo and doing so well, because since the Nintendo 64, when they made the change with GameCube, even at the Nintendo 64, they had a lot of third parties that were starting to move away from them. Yeah. Now they have a console that people can develop for third party, and indie developers can easily develop for this, and they're welcoming it. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
In addition to that, speaking of developers going to Switch, Sony is launching music.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
To clarify this, because I saw a lot of headlines like Sony's making Nintendo games now, and it's like, no, hold your horses. That's not what's happening here. Sony Music has launched an independent development studio that is publishing a game somebody else has already made for the Switch.
Yes,
but it is really entertaining and encouraging to see Sony corporate working with Nintendo corporate to bring something to gamers, and I'm excited about that. So the name of the publishing studio is going to be Untie, because they're like, we want to release and let them be free.
Sure. And
join the others.
Which I'm
that one, right?
No, I don't join the others.
Okay, that's Death at a Funeral.
Oh yeah,
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
With the toilet paper. Join the others. Okay. Go watch that after you watch this video, whether you've seen it or not. The original British Death at a Funeral is one of the funniest movies ever. So yeah. And then the last couple of bits of news on Switch is they've since it launched, the Switch has been the top console seller for 5 out of the 7 months.
Yep.
And it'll be interesting to see as it goes into the holidays how that works, and if they're able to keep up with supply and everything.
I think they will.
But they said that their numbers had reached 2 million, which
2 million US.
2 million US.
Yes.
Which honestly is not that high. Mm-hmm. It's impressive, and it's doing supremely well, especially based on our expectations of it. But the PS4 sold 1 million on day one in the US. So but the thing is that it's moving forward, and it's really doing amazing.
Yeah. So in comparison, the PS4 sold 5.3 in the first 6 months.
Yeah.
The reason I brought that, I mean, because we're just over 6 months for the Switch.
But they did a lot better. They had a lot higher expectations for the sales. Yeah. Nintendo tends to be a little bit further back. But like you were saying earlier, it's out in the wild now. You can find it, which I get to find it because due to people giving me for my birthday, I have enough money to get a Switch, and I'm going to get a Switch, and I get to play Afterbirth Plus.
Yeah. Do it.
Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be playing the same game that I've been playing for the past 3 years. But it's on the Switch now.
Oh, those were that 5.3 was throughout the world. It wasn't the US.
Okay.
But either way, I know that PlayStation, I don't think that it's outsold PlayStation. It did. Actually, I thought the first month that the Switch sold as many.
In 5 out of 7 out of 7 months, NPD says that it has been the top selling console.
Yeah. No, but I mean the first month that Switch was out, it beat the first month for PlayStation for the world, but not for the US or something. There was one thing that did beat PS4.
The Switch is selling well.
Yes,
we are happy.
We are happy.
All right, and then the last bit of Switch news is they have a new update which allows you to transfer saves. Kind of like they do on the 3DS. It's like a one-way thing, removes it from the previous console. So it's still Nintendo awkward, don't worry.
Yeah.
And then they said that 4 games now have 30 seconds of recording. And it's like, that's... Okay.
It's not enough. It's not enough to do anything.
Like, you unless you're speed running and you have some crazy stuff, you can't even record like a boss fight in 30 seconds. And so it's going to be for like glitches and moments, and that's what they have right now, and we'll see where it goes.
I did have a prediction. I can't remember the exact time frame on it. I think it was the first year of production, because when Switch was announced, I made a prediction.
You said that there was going to be a streaming version of the console.
I said that there would be a additional piece to the dock that would do that, but on its own, the Switch would not be able to do any streaming or video capture that was adequate.
Yeah, so I'll check the dock and see what happens.
Maybe a half point for me, but either way, I was on the right track.
It would be half of a positive prediction, and then the other half is countered for now. So I think that kind of evens out. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. But basically, I was alluding to the fact that the hardware is not capable of being able to stream or capture at the same time. Yeah, just to save it onto a hard or onto the SD card. Yeah. If you're like, I want to save all of my captures to the SD card.
So with the 30-second capture, is it capturing the previous 30 seconds?
Yes.
Does it do so? It's doing the layering same as with the PS4 and the 15 minutes.
And Xbox with the last 5, because the Xbox doesn't do 15.
It's only 5.
5.
Huh.
Which is not, again,
but that is enough. Like if something unexpected happens, like okay, so the other day I was playing Shadow of War, and like I did one of my super like mega kill things, and it was a sneak attack, but the enemy had just started climbing a wall and like had jumped up onto the wall, and then like I leaped behind him, stabbed the air in the back, and then like sliced the air in the back, and then leaped the other way as he flew off into the distance. It was weird. It was very weird.
Yeah, and you can then save those and share them, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I think 15 is good. I think 30 is too short, because you could have a few moments where you're like, oh, that was really cool, man, and celebrating with a friend, and then you're like, oh, I should save that. And all of that, if you're with other people, could take a few seconds. Yeah. Therefore,
your clip is down to like 15 seconds now, and it's like,
so the setup and context might not be in there.
You would have been able to capture one of my favorite moments of this year, and it's actually up on my on the Kevin Bradley side. I'll get it switched over to our YouTube.
Yeah.
But it was you used the same button in Horizon Zero Dawn to cancel and roll.
Okay.
So I'm standing on top of a cliff, looking at the map. Cancel out of the menu with a double tap.
Oh.
And straight off the cliff and to my
And it's a forward roll, or is it a back roll?
Yeah, it's a forward roll.
See, I'm used to Dark Souls.
It was great. It was hilarious.
We're default back.
Yeah, and so like it's like a 5-second clip, but it was hilarious, and I laughed so hard. It was great.
It was so good.
So what else do we have in news?
Well, the other things we have in news deal with Far Cry 5.
Yeah. So Far Cry 5 is getting a book.
It is getting a book,
and I'm kind of excited about that, because it's like not, it's reality based.
Yeah.
But it's
real enough that it can make you uncomfortable that this could happen.
Yeah.
Very close to it with some of the recent things. Speaking of that, there's actually a side note, but there is a militia. There are actually multiple people who are doing this, but there is a large militia that has been preparing for what they think is the government's going to collapse. So they're going to make sure that them and theirs are protected, and the United States prevails under them, because they think the government's going to collapse and everything's going to go.
I've heard of that. It's the state of Montana. I think that's where I heard that.
Yeah.
So if you're from Montana and you're not part of the militia, let us know.
But this specific group is doing everything up to like everything that they've said.
They're setting up self-governance. And everything.
But they're also their rhetoric and all of their documents and all the recordings that people have been given of them is everything up into just go ahead and take out the leaders. Like, it's like, oh, you're right on the cusp to just like the next sentence is, and we should just kill this person and this person. Like, they're right up to that point, which is legally like where you're like, I can't do anything about this.
Yep.
But I want to do something similar to a previous conversation. I really want to do something, but then if you speak up, you're like, oh, that's slander.
We didn't say that.
We didn't say that, and I'm suing you.
Yeah.
So it's scary.
Maybe that's their game.
Oh, just to get money?
Yeah, for libel.
That'd be really good.
Speaking of which, because I'm a Slytherin, I just see things this way. I got a bill for like $11 and something for a test that I got from like a foot thing. My foot's fine. But yeah, it was like a bill for like $11 or something. The amount of money that it costs to send stuff through the mail, especially in bulk, that's a reasonable scam. Like, you could just like send out bills for like $10, $15, $20, figure out like the amount that people are willing to be like, I don't have time to check this. Sure, I probably owe somebody something. And whether they're like super deep in debt and they're like, I can pay this one. Or they're like so well taken care of and financially figured out, they're like, okay, then I pay the bills.
Yeah.
Because that's how people who pay bills talk. But like, yeah, there's like multiple demographics that would absolutely fall for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I get one of those random ones like medical or whatever, I mean, I look to see which office did this come from.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I guess if you could hack an office to just be like, oh, he's a patient there,
right?
Because I may get one like from my dentist. I get one from my dentist where it's like, oh, you know, I had it may or may not have a date on it. I don't remember, but it's like, hey, you needed to pay this much. Your insurance paid this much. You owe like $57. I'm like, oh crap. Okay, I'll call him because I know that dentist. So yeah, I'll pay it. I mean. But I'm calling the dentist, so I'm not usually. Anyways.
But we're not doing that. So like, don't tell us. But if
because we'll sue you if you think that we're doing that and you say that we did that.
So Activision. Speaking of unscrupulous things, Activision has patented basically Skinner box for microtransactions.
Yeah, it's quasi scary in the way that they're basically saying, hey, it basically boils down to in a bunch of jargon, we can pair up an individual. We can figure out
to show them that a microtransaction is the thing, and pair a player with a player to show them what they could buy with and then edge. Market to them based on that, and it's
you basically do it based on if you pick a specific like skill set.
The most cynical down. It's bad.
Well, I'm hoping
Activision like takes it from EA this year as far as like the top of the. Because that's bad. Well, Activision don't do that.
The worst way about it is what they're basically alluding to is saying we're going to analyze what the person plays. Mm-hmm. We're then going to pair them based on the play that they did, not telling them. Right,
and not actually on what will make their match good, but on what will boost and encourage microtransactions.
And an ethical way to do this would be if someone keeps playing a specific style for a while, and they go, hey, by the way, if you wanted, we have little lock boxes that will specifically help your class.
Right.
That's ethical because that's just saying, hey, we got this thing if you want it.
You play this way, overt. This could help. The specifics for me at least, and from what I'm hearing from you, seems to be the same. The specifics about this and targeting the matchmaking to supplement the ad is basically where we have a problem.
Because you're feeding people instead of looking at their what they've done and then marketing to them, which is something Facebook, Google, everyone does.
That's how marketing works.
That's how marketing works. You're basically putting them in a position where they may or may not be feel inadequate, angry, whatever it is, and then you pop up with something saying, hey, you can buy this. So Activision has said that they have not implemented this into any games, and this was part of R&D, but their phrasing was they have not implemented it into any games. Meaning right now it's not in any game, but they could throw it into any game, and they don't have to tell us that it's there. And
it's server side stuff, so it's not going to be anything that the data miners can find on the thing.
Yeah, so it's again unethical. In more and more unethical practices coming out. Yeah. So that to me is shady.
Yeah. So we're going to run through these last couple items real quick. Okay, so I love Atlas. Atlas is wonderful, and they have released a free Shin Megami Tensei Metroidvania platformer, and it looks like a lot of fun. I don't have the PC right now to run it and everything, but it's like a story based and running around doing stuff, and seriously, this game looks like so much fun, and it looks simple, and entertaining and like your little ghosty guy running around doing stuff and having fun. And so
I know it's easier to put on PC, but I really wish this was on Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, this would lend itself so well to the Switch.
Everything's supposed to be on Switch
Everything
now.
should
Get
be,
with it.
be about on Switch.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the corniness. I love the style. It's so good.
Yep.
So good. We also got so Halo
Master Chief
Collection is getting an update that'll bring it up to 4K.
Right. So they're prepping for the Xbox One X, and they've kind of rejiggered the whole system to make sure that everything works, and so everybody can be matched and everybody can just kind of see what's going on. So if you when they first launched the game, it was multiplayer didn't work. It was bad. Like, okay, so if you're watching the video, that moment with Master Chief riding the bomb down, I just every time I see that, I just want to watch Doctor Strangelove.
Oh yeah.
I love the heck out of that movie.
Yeah, I think that I think it's cool seeing Xbox doing this. They were talking about I think it was Assassin's Creed, or I think Assassin's Creed on the Xbox One X, or one of the recent games that they're saying was going to be 4K. They didn't say native because it's going to be an upscaling via whatever, checkerboarding or whatever. But they're like, PS4 is not going to be able to do, PS4 Pro is not going to be able to do it, but the Xbox One is. So they're already trying to position themselves to be like, hey, we're the hardcore gamer.
It is.
Thing.
This is the definitive console, and it's more powerful.
Yes, but
spec wise, and but like it's
what games are going to be on it?
It's an incremental, all of them, because with backwards compatibility and forwards compatibility, like all the games are going to be there.
Yeah, but what games do I need to get that console for, as opposed to playing on PC?
Forza, because Forza is so gorgeous.
But you're going to pay $650 for Forza? Because you're going to pay, $600 for an Xbox One and then $60 for the game. I'm not.
No, and I'm not either.
I don't have a reason to upgrade right now. I have an Xbox One, but I don't have a reason to upgrade.
Yeah. So that's Xbox One stuff. Yeah. And then the last bit of news we have is the Steam. The Steam sales are always like a big deal whenever they come out, and we have the Steam sale release dates for 2017: the Halloween, the Black Friday, and the Winter sale. Mm-hmm. So the Halloween sale is starting Thursday the 26th, so that's later this week. Going to the 1st of November.
Then you got Black Friday, that's going to be Wednesday, 22nd of November through the 28th, which will work perfect for Black Friday and for that area,
Right. And then
winter.
Thursday, 21st of December to the 4th of January is going to be the winter sale. So the discounts, like, you don't have to rush to get them. These are digital items, but it is nice to be able to kind of prepare your wallet, because your wallet needs to be ready for this, because it hurts. It hurts bad.
3 times in a row. Yeah, because, I mean, it's 3 times in two months. So it's going to be rough, but you can get through it, budget wisely, and look as well. I mean, if you're a PC gamer, this is probably going to be the best thing for you. There are deals that everyone's going to come out for Black Friday and everything. So, of course, watch these deals versus the others. Depending on what you're getting, you may get a better deal this way. Check it out.
So, that's all the news we have for this week. Let us know in the comments if we missed anything. And tell us what your best deal you ever got on a video game was. And let us know if you think Activision or EA is the worst company ever. Let us know, and we will see you next week.
Later.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
And you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.